So that was Inga Young, and I want to bring out our second author on this topic because it is such an important topic these days. This author really focuses on the parenting side of the autism equation. So looking at it from another angle, the author of Parenting Like a Ninja, an Autism Mom's Guide to Professional Productivity. I'm going to welcome Faith Clarke to the red carpet. Hello, join me here. It's great to see you. I'm excited to talk about your book, and tell us about Parenting Like a Ninja. Why did you write it? Who's it for? And how does it fit into the whole autism puzzle?
So as Inga mentioned, kids with autism have such a range of challenges that show up as all these really complex behaviors. Tantrums, difficulties eating, and all these various things. So autism parents are on the job 24/7, and not just in the toddler years. The autism as a lifelong situation just seems to continue, and many parents are so focused on dealing with this. We have early intervention, and they tell you, okay, you have this for the first 3 years. You're like, let's hit it in the first 3 years. Okay, 3 years pass, and then okay, you have this for the next 2 years. So then let's hit, so you can be really focused on trying to deal with autism in a child's life and to the exclusion of everything else in your own life. And many kids with autism, they don't sleep well. So autism parents, in particular moms, the first thing they say to me is, I'm tired. So Parenting Like a Ninja is the story of moving from that place of fragmented energy and exhaustion so that everything's suffering, including your professional place in your work life and your career, and moving to a place where you're productive. And in the book, I define
Productive in something other than just your kids' autism symptoms.
Well, productive in anything you want, because productivity is being able to direct your energy and get the results you want. But many of us our energy is all over the place. So not even with your parenting, but definitely not in your professional space. So how do we kind of get that together so that you don't have to choose? That you can have the things you truly want and be energetic in both areas or in all the areas.
So how did you come to be a parent? I'm hoping you are a parenting ninja. If you're writing the book on Parenting Like a Ninja, you got to own it now. So how did you become a parenting ninja?
So I have 3 amazing children. My 19-year-old has autism. So we've had this 19-year journey of this life. At the same time, I left the workforce for a few years because I didn't feel like I could cope with it. And over years, I needed to re-engage aspects of my life, and so started a business caring for families of kids with autism, went back to school, did doctoral studies, and in the process, just trying to figure out how do I keep that balance, because I don't want to neglect either. Autism moms kind of get very superheroish and gangster. So we do
I like that.
we do want to do for our families. But then autism, in many cases, moms tell me autism shows them. And they want to express that back in whatever way in the world, in their space. And so how do you do that and keep that tension? That was why I wrote it.
All right, so listen, I don't know how long you were thinking about writing a book, but it seems like owning a business that is a very busy business, having 3 kids, like if there is ever a reason to put your dream on hold, like having 3 kids seems like a good reason. So how was it that you stopped wishing and got this book done?
So I started writing my first book in like 2007 probably, and I've started 3 since. So it was started. Yeah. I got to chapter 3, I think, in each one.
It's usually around the 20 to 40 page mark.
Is that where
people,
it is?
yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I shared with people, and they liked it, and still, I just didn't continue. So I got to almost a crisis point, I think, where I needed to change how I worked. I was in my next phase of ninja parenting, which is, yes, let's up the ante and really be who you need to be in the world. And yes, what does this mean for your family and for your kids? And so I needed to shift. And part of that shift was to show up. And a book is a great way to show up, to complete something and share it with the world, which had me shaking my boots. I think I was scared to complete it and share it. And so that was my commitment, was to show up. And then just after I made that commitment, then I saw your ad on Facebook, like serendipity, it just came my way.
So that was a huge tip for you guys, is if you have been wishing about writing a book and not getting it done, is fear playing a factor there? Is your fear of being seen, of showing up in a bigger way, of what will happen as you step up? That's a big thing that stops a lot of people. I have a couple questions for you. I know I wanted to ask you a question from Alexandra from Miami. And Alexandra says, I've been attempting to write on my own, but I've noticed I have trouble believing in myself, which makes me think now is not the time. Does it ever feel like there's a perfect time to write your book?
No.
Surprise.
I think that the voices that tell us we're not good enough, that we're imposters, that we can't make it, that people won't listen to us, and all of those variations, they don't stop talking. And we have to outact them. And I actually found that they got louder. I thought they'd be quiet when I showed that I was serious, but no, they actually got louder. And so I think the only solution to being stalled is action. And when you act, then whatever comes up, be committed to dealing with that and facing, those voices and facing those beliefs you have about yourself. The thing for me was that I was writing with a posse, with a cohort. And so I got to see other people have those same beliefs. And while it was hard for me to believe that I was capable, I could look at the other authors and but obviously you're an expert, clearly you know, and they would tell that back to me. And so when you see it, I can't be that different from everybody.
You would not have been accepted if you were that
right. I could not, right? So then maybe. And so other people's belief kind of lent me some belief and kept me moving through. So
that is the secret. That's our writing a book like a ninja secret. All right, I have another one from you. This is from Daryl from England. And she says, how did you find time and set it aside to focus to write when you're also responsible for others' daily well-being?
There's no time to find. There's only deciding that you're going to do something and then carving that time out and letting other things stop. And knowing that nobody's going to die, everything's going to be fine. And for me, because I remember what it was like in school, I was always the last minute homework person. The night before, I did the work and handed it in. So I decided, I could put a day aside. I could say to everybody, I'm leaving, I'm going to the coffee shop on the corner, I will not be back. And so I kind of made that commitment, and it was important for my kids to see me making that commitment for myself and for what I was doing, and not only be making commitments for them. I think sometimes we don't model for our families what we want them to do for themselves in the future.
Totally. And did you feel like one of the things when you were writing the other few books that you made an attempt at over the last 10 years, most people start writing and they don't have an end date in mind. So it's hard to say to your family, I'm going to be gone for, 1 to 10 years, 1 to 5 days a week. It's very mysterious, right. But with this program, you knew exactly when you were going to finish,
right.
Both your manuscript and then the kind of second phase of editing and publishing and all this. Was having that deadline, was that helpful to managing your relationships with your family?
I think the deadline was very helpful, but I think also me knowing where I was going to end, because I also couldn't sell what I was doing if I didn't know. And so with the other books, I just started by writing, right? I got the computer open and I started. I think with your process, we don't start with writing. We start with figuring out the end, and we figure the journey out, and then we get to writing. So I had a clearer sense of where I was going, and I knew each time I stopped, I knew where I was, and that helped me to, I'm at chapter 7. I'll be right. I have 3 more to go. I'm at chapter 10 now. And that was really helpful because I knew chapter 10 was the last one.
Yeah.
Versus, some unknown chapter out there that was going to be.
Who knows when the book ends? Right. Yeah. I think that's one of the big keys of this is you can spend as long as you want. Many people spend decades writing a book, but you can also decide, hey, I'm going to get this done in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and just decide you're not going to write the best book ever written in the history of literature. You're going to write the best book that you could write in the time you have available. And I know that you have been showing up in bigger ways even through the process of writing the book. Can you talk about how the book connects with your business and where your business is going?
So as part of what I do to help families of kids with autism, I provide child care services. And I realized that didn't satisfy me fully because I wanted to be in the space with the families instead of sending somebody. And I realized that part of that was me not with me hiding, right? I helped people and sent them ahead of me. So the book is a part of my transition into being the person and being part of the team that really helps. And so I'm shifting into consulting and coaching with moms and with families just to help brainstorm what's going on and how can you be more energized and productive in your space. So.
That's awesome. Well, we want to show everyone your book. Here it is, Parenting Like a Ninja, an Autism Mom's Guide to Professional Productivity by Faith Clarke. If you know an amazing autism parent that is already right on the edge of being a ninja and wants some more tips, this is the link to send them. Autism moms, any moms or parents of kids with special needs, have to learn how to parent like ninjas, and this is a great book to take it to the next level. So congratulations, Faith. Thanks so much for joining me on the red carpet.
Thank you, Angela.